want to be remembered? And I thought his answer, of course, was just perfect. He goes, I want to be remembered as being a good teammate, respected by all the coaches and my peers. I want everybody to know I love the game of football.
And the Denver Broncos have taken Super Bowl 50.
Beer, Broncos, and
Hello
no BS.
again, Broncos country.
Welcome
Really
to
excited
Beer,
to chat about some
Broncos,
Broncos.
Orange Weekly. No politics, just football.
Since an early age. Now since 9-7, I ain't miss a game. Came up with TD and Rod Smith. I was riding with the team when they got the chip. Before the Chevrolets and the Lobster. I remember Elway's helicopters. I remember. I'm telling you, that man was a monster. Way before he had his hands on a roster. Way before. He turned the Broncos to a powerhouse. So you know I got a shout out to Johnny. Elway, he important, man. He the reason that I'm always rocking on his man.
What is up, Broncos country? Kev Dan here for another episode of Broncos Brunch as the Broncos get ready to take on the Houston Texans in under 1 hour. That's right, 11 a.m. Mountain Time is kickoff. So we're going to end this just a little early, make sure I can go get everything set up there. And of course, get ready for the halftime hash, and I'll tell you all you guys about that later on. But I am here because I want to talk to you guys about the Broncos matchup coming this way. So start posting some comments and questions. Send them my way. I want to hear what your thoughts are about today's game. If you need to go grab that coffee or mimosa or whatever you want, kick back, relax, and let's see what you guys got. We got Blessin here, says go Broncos. Travis, one of the first commenters over there as well. Obviously, the Broncos 4-8 after beating, game close, the Chargers last week with two McManus 50-plus yard field goals. He was clutch last week for us. Of course, this will be Drew Lock's second game of his starting career, so we're going to see how he does today. It's going to be a big challenge for him just to see if he can keep improving from last week. And there's still a lot of questions surrounding the Broncos offense, especially after the first quarter. I'm not sure if you guys saw But the Broncos are ranked in many categories, top 10 or better in the entire NFL since week 5, in most of the categories in the first quarter. Once we get to the second quarter through the fourth quarter, the Broncos are essentially dead last, if not close to many of those same categories. So it's interesting to see what's going to go on today. Obviously, with Drew Lock, hopefully we can allow him to just kind of, why don't we just open up the playbook, see what he does. But we got to get consistent play calling from, or players have to play continuously well throughout the game as well. They can't just stop playing as well once we get that lead. So some things going on, but I get see some questions coming in. Of course, Von Miller he is suited up today. The inactive list came out. Juwan James will also be playing. And in fact, let me go ahead and just reopen that up for you guys so I can make sure I give you the right information. Juwan Winfrey is inactive. Malik Reed, after getting hurt last week, is inactive. Ron Leary is inactive. And we're going to talk about that. We have an undrafted free agent that we picked up earlier this year that's going to take place of Ron Leary. So we're going to see how that goes today. But yes, Juwan James will be out there. Von Miller will be out there. Von Miller was practicing or went through the pregame warm-ups with a sleeve on his knee. So we're going to see how that goes. Let's see. Grace, how you doing? Neil says 4-8 ain't bad shape. We are growing, brother. Completely agree, guys. This is a rebuilding year. So 4 games is not terrible for where we're sitting right now. Obviously, we'd like to see Drew Lock win some more games, and that's going to affect how we talk about the postseason, obviously, with free agency and the draft, everything after that. So today is another data point in which we see how Drew Lock does under pressure during those games. We got Dakota. How you doing? Christopher, what do you think the Denver offense line will do with another new guard? I don't know, man. It's tough. Those guys, it's really ideal for those guys to, the whole offensive line, play together as often as possible without, obviously, those injuries really hurt, because they've got to get in that flow. They've got to be able to understand what the person next to him is going to do continuously. And when we have all these injuries going on the offensive line, it's always tough to see or predict how those guys are going to do. Obviously, we hope that the big time players still look great. I mean, Dalton Reisner has been the focal point of the offensive line there. And come to find out, guys, Garrett Bowles, despite all of his penalties, is the highest ranking offensive line member on the Denver Broncos this season by Pro Football Focus. So that's he has been improving in the numbers. Obviously, the penalty number is the thing that still is hurting us the most. He did not have any penalties last week against San Diego. Oh no, I did it. Jared's gonna make fun of me. LA Chargers. I can't believe I just did that, man. Guys, forgive that one. Don't tell Jared. Let's see. Will the game be on channel 4 or 13? I'm not sure. I want to say CBS, but you guys will have to fact check that one for me. Let's see. We got some score predictions, and of course, I'll talk about my score prediction later on. Dylan says 2017 Broncos. Connor says I've never seen a team so bad at making in-game adjustments. And there's some leeway that I personally, from where I'm sitting, can give the coaching staff, especially considering how young they are in terms of their experience as offensive coordinator, head coach, so on and so forth. There are things that need to change, though, and I think a lot of it goes back to game planning. What is their game plan? How do they get these guys ready for the game, and then how do they adjust throughout the game? And I agree that this is a huge focal point for this coaching staff to figure out, because next season, it's going to be tough if we keep being horrible in the second halves. It doesn't matter what our lead is going into the fourth quarter if we keep blowing it over and over and over again. So there are things this coaching staff does need to figure out. I don't expect it to change too much until next season, when these coaches are going to have a full offseason to go through and really figure out how they want to improve and where they think that they need to improve on. And I think it's very clear where their weaknesses are. But I agree, Connor, totally. Neil says, don't hate the player, hate the game. Okay, we can't hate football. Never mind. I agree. Can't hate football. I'd still rather watch bad football than no football. So that's just how I take it. Dylan says 3 last second field goals from 7-5. Yeah, I agree. But the numbers indicate that the Broncos don't deserve to have won those games. In the second quarter through the fourth quarter, and I know what you're saying, Dylan, but everything after the first quarter compared to the entire NFL, the Broncos are ranked dead last in the vast majority of those offensive areas that they get stats on. Dead last in the NFL. And so here's a team that can get a good lead or play very well in the first quarter. If you only play well in even the first half, but then you're ranked dead last in the second half compared to the rest of the NFL, you don't deserve to win those games. I'm sorry. Look, if that happens every now and then against, really good teams, okay, fine. But you can't be ranked dead last. The defense, guys, the defense has been what has put us in those positions to possibly win those games. But the offense is far from being worthy of winning those games. And so I know what you're saying, Dylan. It hurts. We could be sitting at 7-5 right now or whatever. Yeah, 7-5. But we're not. And if you ask me, because of our offense, we don't deserve to be ranked 7-5. It's kind of like looking at the Raiders right now. They've, through luck, won a lot of those games. They're not that good of a team. I'm sorry. It's not just because they're the Raiders. They're just not that good of a team. And you saw how bad they lost to the Jets. They got their butts whooped last week by Kansas City. I'm really hoping that they get their butts whooped again today. I'm hoping that the NFL has figured out who the Raiders are and how to beat them. So, look, they do not deserve to have that record, nor do we deserve to have a record such as 7-5. It would be nice, but that does not indicate how poorly we're doing if we were to have that record. That's my little spiel there. You can disagree with me. That's fine. But that's the way I'm seeing it. Roosevelt, how you doing? Says the culture is changing for the better. I agree. If Locke does well today, win or lose, the future looks bright. Guys, I don't care about the win-loss record for the next 5 games. Next 4 games. I don't care. I don't. I want to see how Drew Lock plays in those situations. I want them to allow him to go out there and make those rookie mistakes. Stop playing to not lose. Just go out there, be as aggressive as possible, play smart, but be aggressive. And just let Drew Lock go through those rookie mistakes. Get as many as you can out of the way now so he has the entire offseason to really analyze it. And depending on how he does these next 4 games is really going to impact how we draft in that first round this next offseason. So, we need to see how he does. And as long as he keeps improving, now we got a real conversation on our hands. Versus right now, I'm leaning towards the Broncos still grabbing another quarterback in the first round of this next year's draft. But that could very easily change depending on how Drew Lock does. There were a couple throws last week that it was clutch. I mean, he put it right in the hands of the receiver, of Courtland Sutton. He called an audible at the line to allow for that first touchdown for Courtland Sutton, and it was great. There were also some very easy throws where he was not under pressure. His receiver was wide open, and the ball did not even get close to him whatsoever. And I understand the guy hasn't played football for 10 weeks. He had 2 weeks of practice before that last week's game. So as long as we see improvement and him start to build some rapport with this team, that's really what I'm looking for. Wins would be nice just to save some face, but I really, at the end of the day, don't care too much about that. And that's my take on it, guys. Grace, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Guys, great show. That's a good comment. I appreciate it again. But remember, we have Broncos content for you guys throughout the week. Monday night, Orange Weekly After Dark starts 9 p.m. Mountain Time. Tuesday, we got Bourbon, Broncos, No BS. 9 p.m. Mountain Time. No, see? Man. I gotta reset, guys. Hold on. Okay, let's try this again. Orange Weekly After Dark, Monday night, 9 p.m. Mountain Time. Bourbon, Broncos, No BS. Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. We got our pregame podcast and our postgame podcast. You guys can listen to that on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you like to listen to your podcast. We also got, obviously this show, Broncos Brunch. We start this 10 a.m. pretty much every week. And now last week, guys, I know we missed the halftime hash. We were not able to do it last week, and it was the first time we have not done a halftime hash show since Orange Weekly started doing that 3 years ago. So apologize. Broncos halftime hash will be back this week And we're going to try and go for at least another 3 years before we miss another episode. So apologies for that week, for last week, guys, but we are going to be back. I'll be here for that. As soon as halftime starts, guys, you pick up your phone. That's what everyone does. You go grab another beer or snacks or whatever. Go ahead and head over to Orange Weekly Facebook page, Twitter, wherever you watch this, and we will be live. Cool. Let's get back to some of these comments. Christopher, that why Garrett Bowles is still a good left tackle. He needs to stop the penalties. He's still, I think, as of this week, one of the most highest penalized tackle in the NFL, if not close to it. So he is improving. He did very well last week. He's had some very good games this year where he didn't get penalized. He's also had several other games where he's got penalized 2 or 3 plus times for holding. And that's also killed how the offense is doing. So, look, as long as he figures out that penalty thing soon and he can become really reliable, okay. But he has 4 weeks to really convince me that he should stay on this team next year, because the way I'm seeing it, I don't care how good you are, but if you keep getting that amount of penalties, I don't care. So let's see what he does. Travis says Broncos 24-21. Christopher, what player do you think will replace Wolf on defense? Oof. I think it's Harris will take his place on that side. Gotsis will have the other side. Man, I don't know. That is a good Tuesday night question. So I really don't even want to think about that right now. Obviously, Wolf is done for the season after hurting his elbow really bad last week, dislocating his elbow. So that is going to really hurt our defense. We're going to see how the defense comes out today, that defensive line, and how well they play without Derek Wolfe. I'm worried that it's going to have a bigger impact than I like it to have, just because he's such a key player on that defensive line. Now, who's going to replace him? I don't know. We're going to have to figure that one out. Actually, I think I do have the answer for that. Hold on. I think I pulled it up just a little bit before the show. Where'd it go? He's a non-restricted free agent, so that's why I can't remember his name. I just saw that one come out. Oh, let's see. Nope, there, it's gone. I won't take too much time on it. Schlotner or something like that is his name. I can't remember, but he is going to be taking Derek Wolfe's spot today. And so we're going to have to wait and see how this guy does. Obviously, unrestricted free agent. He hasn't college free agent. Oh no, unrestricted. He was not drafted. It's going to be interesting to see how this guy steps in. Yeah, Jose, there is no replacing Wolf. Completely agree. Demarcus Walker, I don't know. It's, again, I haven't heard on what the game plan is for that. Back to over here. Neil says, I'm a Broncos fan. This is what we do. Hype the fight. 20 Broncos, 17 Texans by a fourth quarter field goal. Okay. It is going to be a close game, I really believe. Dylan says, I agree with you with what I'm saying. He's just saying with another year under our belt next season, things could be looking very good with more chemistry and coaches and players. Completely agree. Look, let these guys develop. Not only are the players really developing, it's not just a really young team, it's a very young coaching staff, again, in terms of years of experience in their positions. So giving them an entire offseason to go through every single one of these games, minute by minute, snap by snap, and really analyze what decisions they made in those situations and why it either worked or why it didn't work and how to improve that for next year. That should get these guys going on the right path very quickly. But there needs to be several changes, especially on the offensive side of the ball, to get this team going. That's the way it is. When your offense is ranked last in the NFL in a wide variety of categories, sorry, your team doesn't deserve to win. We don't deserve to win those games. First quarter, if we had the first quarter team play throughout the entire game, we would be looking at 10-2 right now, if not 8-4, something like that. This team can turn it around, but they have got to figure out, both on the play calling side, game planning side, and how they execute during the game, to be able to overcome that and play that full game as well as they do in the first quarter. If they do that next year, this team's going to be good. but we have a long way to go to get there. And I don't expect it to be perfect next year, but we can talk about that more during the offseason once we kind of have an idea of what to expect following the season end here. Sean is apparently so bored that he wants to say go Broncos on. He wants to say go Steelers on a Broncos page. That must be sad. Joel says go Broncos, I believe. Bless, go Broncos. Kimberly, how you doing? Michael, what do you think is with the deal with DeMarcus Walker? He's played great in the pass rush when hardly used. Again, I don't know. I don't know what's going through the mind of those coaches there. But now that Malik Reed is out, I would expect to see DeMarcus Walker kind of help out with that, that position and getting in the pass rush a little bit more. But we'll see. Bless says, how about Juwan Rivera as a defensive coach? Our defense is fine. Our defense is doing really well this year. The reason, guys, look, with a offense that is ranked so poorly, especially in the last 3 quarters of the game as the Denver Broncos, we should not be in that many close games. We should not be. But the defense is doing so well and doing their part and being ranked in the top 5 in the vast majority of their stats. They're the reason why we're doing so well. There's no need to change up what we're doing on defense. There are little ways to improve, and we're hopefully bring on some more pieces. But I don't want to see any change on the defensive side of the ball. I just don't. Sean says, love you, Kev Dan. Love you too, man. Sorry, I had to throw a little stick that way at you. I just had to. Miss you, bro. Let's see. Ted says, are you going to the game? No, I went last week, which is why we missed the halftime hash. Sorry. But yeah, not going to the game this week or probably any other game this season. So, Jose said, Travis, nice hat. Thanks. Make sure I didn't miss any comments here. I did miss comments. I apologize. Travis, do you have KC beating the Patriots? No. Patriots are looking to rebound after last week, losing to the Texans the way they did. Patriots are at home. KC's on the road. It's going to be bitter cold up there. I do not see Kansas City beating the Patriots. I'm expecting the Chiefs to drop to 8-5 is what I'm seeing today. Christopher, hope not. Better chance for Denver to make the playoffs. Yep, I agree. Ondera, if I'm saying your name right. What do you think is going to happen to Devontae Booker? He hasn't been in the offense much for the last 2 years. Do you think they're going to let him go or resign him? I don't even know why we still have him. I don't. He had that roughing the kicker penalty last week that he didn't even try to avoid the kicker. So whenever he's out there, it's either not good or it's bad. So I fully expect us to let him go this year. Jose, we need to beef up our defense. Yes, we do need to add some pieces to that. We need to beef it up. We need to hopefully get over this injury bug heading into next year. But yeah, so the defense is doing well, considering all the injuries we had. And, the defense is why we're in these games, guys. Period. Out the end. There are ways to improve it, though, but we're on the right path with the defense. Score will be 21-24. Denver wins again with a game-winning field goal. I've heard that twice now. Todd, I asked that one. Jose, we need to stop the sloppy play and the penalties. 100%. That's a lot of what's killing our offense. Kevin, why do you think Lindsey has fell from grace with the coaches? They give him limited play. It seems that what the coaches are doing is they're splitting the carries 50-50. More often than not. They look to see who has the hot hand, and that's the one who gets the majority of the carries. I don't really like that train of thought. If you ask me, Lindsey is not necessarily the guy to go up the middle. Sometimes you can use him that way. He is fast. He is hard to see since he's shorter than a lot of those other players. He's still taller than me, but not by much. But you got to let these running backs really get going. I don't know, guys. I don't know what to tell you, but Lindsey is close to, he's at 700 and I think it's like 78 yards or something like that, 788. There is still a chance that Philip Lindsey can break 1,000 yards. Over the next 4 games, we're going to have to see him, probably get a good couple of rushes in there. But there is still a chance for Philip Lindsey to break 1,000 yards this year. So while I would like to have them, me personally, I like to be out there on the field a little bit longer. But he's still doing well when he is out there. More often than not, he's still doing well. Back over here. missing a lot of these things. Yeah, Sean, I commented on you. Miss you, bro. Dylan, it's Ron, not Juan. I'm sorry, Ron. Joey, sorry guys. I just try to pronounce the name as best I can. Doesn't always work. Yadam versus Fuller scares me. It should. 100%. It should scare you. That's probably one of the biggest things that I'm concerned about heading into this game. Bless. Sutton has been playing like a beast. Going back, I fully expect Chris Harris to be covering Fuller more often than not. But I do expect the Texans to be picking on Yadam all day long. Joel, my prediction is bold, but 27-17 Broncos. Okay. I believe our team's seen the fire that Locke brings, and the linemen are going to go do everything they can to help keep him upright like last week so they would get a couple of touchdowns. I agree. Look, if they can stop the pass rush, and with the pass rush that the Chargers have, we did very well against those guys, Ingram and Bosa. If we can play the same level as last week, we should be able to keep Drew Lock fairly clean. So what he does with that, I don't know, but he has to do a little bit better than last week. Again, make some of those very easy throws and just trust himself a little bit more. He is getting there. Let's see how he does in his second game. I don't want to give him too much crap. Let's see how he does. Dylan, Theo Riddick injury is why Booker is still here. Yeah, no, I agree. I understand that's why, but I don't see him out there next year. I don't see us having him at all. Theo Riddick's injury sucks. I was really hoping that he could make a big impact on the team. But Booker is just... Look, it's tough. I'd almost rather see Winfrey dressed up and not being a healthy scratch and have Booker be the inactive or the healthy scratch. But obviously, one of your running backs goes down, then you're screwed. I don't know. It's a tough call. I think the coaches are doing what they can. They're doing the right thing by having at least a third running back out there ready to go just in case. But the depth there when it comes to Booker, it hurts. It hurts us when he goes out there. Dylan, we are going to break the fourth quarter touchdown drought today. Okay, Dylan, I'll hold you to it. I'm going to remember, hey, Dylan said we're going to get a fourth quarter touchdown. If you're right, man, I'll give you mad props. But if you're wrong, I'm just going to be sad in general. Michael, if he stays healthy, he should break 1,000. Completely agree. Look, he's less than 250 yards away from that. Yeah, give him the ball. Let him make something happen with it, and he'll break that 1,000 yards. Fuller is out, I believe, for today. I missed that. I thought I looked at their inactive list. Maybe I didn't. I pulled up something old. Cool. Lene, how you doing? But yeah, if Fuller is out, that's going to help a lot. But we still have to contain Texans quarterback. It's as simple as that. If we let him run around on us all day, it's going to make the defense have a very bad day, if you ask me. We have to find a way to contain him. Joey, locked look good. Lock looked good. Man, considering lack of practicing time. Completely agree. So let's see how he does this week after he's had the full week of practice. Michael, we need to break the 24-point barrier to win this one. Okay. Do you think we can do it, Michael? I don't know if we can. And you guys know me. I tend to be the more optimistic one here at Orange Weekly. Joey says, hopefully he's right. I'm hoping he's right. Dylan is promising. Man, okay. Would you put money down on it? I'm not saying that we need to, but would you be willing to put money down on that? I want to see how confident you are. Nigel says, I thought outrun game last week dropped away the longer the game went. Look, that's been what the Broncos do this whole year. We get the lead, and then we just blow it. We absolutely blow it. The offense can't do anything after the first quarter, and if they do, after the second half, they're going into the second half, they can't make anything happen. And I'll say it a million times. That's why we don't deserve to win a lot of those close games. Look, last week we got incredibly lucky. I don't know if that pass interference at the end of the game it wasn't challengeable, obviously, but it wasn't a clean and obvious big time pass interference, as I thought, from what I saw. Either way, whether I'm wrong or not, it was called, and we were able to get in that position for McManus to go out there and make a clutch 50-plus yard field goal. if you're saying we have to rely on luck in all these games to win them at the very end, why can't we be a team that can put these teams away, keep a solid lead, and play well throughout the game? If you can do that week in and week out, then you're not only deserving to win those games, you're going to win a lot of those games without having to rely on what the referees do. You can't rely on the refs to call a perfect game for you every single time. And, oh, well, we're not winning because these refs are making bad calls. No, we're not winning because we can't play in the second half of the game. I think we're still the team with the most having a lead going to the fourth quarter and blowing it. That's not the refs. That's pure the coaches, the game planning, the players not executing. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's see. But I understand what you're saying, Nigel. Joey, Texans are giving up 140. Okay. Michael, yes, I do. Put 20 on it. Okay, that's fair. That's confident enough. I like it. I really hope you're right. Joey, the refs called it, so we'll take it. Oh, no, I'm not complaining, Joey. I'm not complaining. It was nice to go to a Broncos game and see us win. And hear how excited everybody was. It was fantastic. I missed some comments over here. Sorry, guys. I think we talked about this. Christopher thinks the Broncos are going to win. Ted says, am I going to play the game? Sorry, Ted, I misunderstood. No. Look, I'm just a fan, guys. I'm obviously not saying I can go out there and do better. I'm just saying from my point of view, all of us here at Orange Weekly, some of us did play football, not in like any professional manner. But here's what we're seeing. Period out the end. No one's saying we can go out there and do better. But I don't know, guys. Jose, let's see. We need to stop the sloppy play and the penalties. 100,000,000% correct. Kevin, why do you think we talked about that? Christopher, let's see. Who is my upset this week? I think the Bills will win at the end. I can see the Bills winning. I don't know if I have a biggest upset. I don't know. I really don't know. I was hoping that the Cowboys would win yesterday, Thursday night, just because. But they didn't. Very clearly did not. Yeah. Sam says, what time is kickoff? 11 a.m. Mountain Time. So we're gonna stop the show here pretty soon. Rosa, kickoff at 12. Yeah, 12 based off where you are. It's 11 a.m. Mountain Time. Jose, we need to get back to run first and everything else will fall into place. Yeah, I could see that. But look, these last 4 games, even if we lose all 4 games, I'd rather see what Drew Lock can do. I'd like to get Philip Lindsay to that 1,000-yard mark as well. But I want to see how Drew Lock can run the offense, work the ball down the field, and make some of those throws. He's going to throw some interceptions. He's going to make some rookie mistakes. But that's why I want us to work through that now. And get over as much as we can. Get over that as much as we can now, heading into the offseason. Travis, do you see us getting the football first? That's a 50-50 call. I don't know. It doesn't. I'd rather not have the ball first. Go in the second half, get the kickoff, and yeah. Ray says running game is critical. Agreed. Ad says the offensive coordinator play calling is too predictable. Yep. Travis, Drew Lock has to be on his game today. Yeah, he does, and he played well last week for the most part. But we need to. There were some times where he was not playing very well, not even close. So again, let's look for him to improve a little bit today. Dylan, I thought it was good call. He obstructed Sutton's path to the ball and knocked him down. Okay, yeah, it's one of those things because that's a call that obviously, clearly, it changes the outcome of the game, and so. If you've seen some of these refs, if it's not like bad, even if it is bad, they're not going. They don't call it sometimes. Look at the New Orleans Saints playoff game last year. And even if it's challenged, the odds of it being overturned is almost 0. It's very, very, very low chance of you winning that challenge. So it was just surprising that the ref called it because it was that game-changing kind of penalty. But again, not complaining. Joel, agree. I just want to see improvement every week. I want to see him grow, even if we lose these last couple of games. Agreed. The better he gets, the better we will be next year. The wins will come with time. Agreed. Okay, how do I feel about Lindsey today? I feel like he should get the ball quite a bit and do very well. But again, it depends. The crowd, hopefully there's a lot of Broncos fans there today. Agreed. Jose, we need to get a quarterback that will show, that will go all out and win, and I think we'll play harder for him. So let's see if Drew Lock's that guy. It's way too early to say that he's going to be a bust. Way too early to say that he's going to be the savior of the quarterback, Broncos quarterback dilemma. Let's just see how he does the rest of the season. Let's see if he improves and makes just little baby steps each week. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, guys. It's about that time. Broncos kick off in 25 minutes at the Texans. We are 4-8, looking to make our win streak 2 today. But of course, the Texans are playing for a lot, trying to vie for a better playoff spot. Let's see how that goes. Hopefully, Kansas City loses today. Hopefully, the Raiders lose today. And of course, I think whoever the Chargers are playing, they're going to lose today. But that's just me. Let's see. Yeah, Ray. Hey, man, we are a couple bad calls away from being playoff hopefuls. But go back and watch the show. I'm just going to recap. The Broncos offense is dead last in the NFL stats from the second quarter through the fourth quarter of every of these games. You don't deserve to win if your offense is dead last in 3 quarters of the game. So I do not want us to be a team that has to rely on how the refs call the game week in and week out. We need to be the team that can put teams away without, hey, the refs are going to make some bad calls. That shouldn't affect how good our lead is, at least not to some degree. When we can go up 14-0, when we go up 20-0, and you blow those leads, your team does not deserve to win. Period, out the end. Sorry, man. Cool. I'm going to head out of here. Guys, remember, pre-game, post-game podcast. Check those out. Follow us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. Make sure you hit subscribe for those. If you haven't already, check out the Orange Weekly Facebook page, our Twitter account, and our Instagram. Go like us and follow us there as well. But of course, I'm going to be here for the halftime hash. As soon as halftime starts, I'm going to be here, and we're going to break down that first half of the Broncos game, which usually tends to be a very good conversation, and then the second half happens. So we'll see how it goes today. Thanks a lot, guys. I'm going to head out of here, get ready for the game. Go Broncos. See what happens. But of course, I think it's going to be a close game as well. We can only see. And Dylan, I'm going to remember what you said. We'll see what happens in the fourth quarter today, man. Take care, guys. Go Broncos, and we'll see you at halftime. Bye.